Alright. Got something on the blood of the Dawnwalker. Hold on. We're gonna see it right now, right here. Ooh, here we go. From Rebel Wolves.
Hi everyone and welcome
Nice
to the
suit.
first ever The Blood of Dawnwalker livestream, our game reveal event.
All
My
right.
name is Dominika, I'm the community and social media lead here at Rebel Wolves.
Oh, I thought
and
comedian.
I'm joined today by my friend Matt, a content creator, streamer, and a long-time RPG fan, also
All
known
right.
as Lionheart.
Thank you so much, Dominika.
Nice suit.
It is an absolute pleasure to be here live in the Rebel Wolf studio. The game's actually being made here, right?
Yes, we have
I would hope.
120 super talented people working on the game, and many of them are actually watching us right now live from our company watch party. So huge shout out to you guys.
Hey, you can't blame them for being excited. I mean, this is a massive, massive night for the Rebel Wolves team. And for it to come under a full wolf moon, it's the perfect time for this reveal.
Yes, and we're so excited to see all of
Maybe
you
that's
guys
why they
and
chose
gals
this
joining
time.
us on Twitch. We know time zones are tricky, so
Yeah.
a special thank you to those of you
Almost
who had
missed
to
it.
get up early or those staying up late just to be here. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yes, and a very warm welcome as well to all of the streamers who've decided to co-stream this event live to their own communities. I can't wait to see all of your reactions later on.
Definitely. Now, many of you have been asking us about what's been going on behind our doors, and we have great news. The wait is finally over, and we are ready to unveil what we have been cooking up for the past
You've
2
been cooking?
years.
Yes, that's right. There are so many exciting announcements to come through the rest of this event, so I really hope you're comfortable. Now, Dominika, I think we should probably start at the very beginning.
Yeah.
What is the Blood of Dawnwalker?
Yes.
The Blood of Dawnwalker is the first chapter of a brand new role-playing saga. It's a dark fantasy,
Nice.
narrative-driven, epic adventure set in medieval Europe with a supernatural twist. Our aim for this game is to create a truly unique experience for you guys, a game that we have been dreaming about.
That sounds like my kind of game, I'm going to be honest. There are so many things to come tonight, and I know everyone here is really excited to share this all for the very first time. But for everyone at home, you're probably wondering, well, what does that mean for us? Well, you're going to hear more about the world, more about the lore, and
Okay.
for the very first time, you're going to see the full CGI trailer for the game as well. But it's not just any trailer, right?
It's not just some random trailer, it is actually the game's opening, setting up the stage for the
Opening.
whole game. It shows this one moment in history when the world changes forever.
Wow.
When the trailer comes
I
up,
can't
I'll
wait to
full
see
screen
how
it.
well the community does, poring over every second of this trailer. In the reveal campaign so far, they've been incredible.
Oh yes, tell me about it.
All right.
Discord, you guys are mind-blowing.
The Discord have been incredible, but soon we're going to throw it over to a bunch of the devs, and you're going to dive further into the world of Dawnwalker. You're going to learn more about the characters, the lore, and the art. Then
That is
we're going to
important.
weave in a few songs as well that should really help set the mood for the game itself. I've been listening to them non-stop, and they are incredible, right? Lastly, make sure you stick around all the way through, because we also have a very brief but very real gameplay teaser as well.
Yes, and it is an actual look at the state of the
All right.
game as it is right now, straight from the engine.
Straight from the
And
engine.
in the meantime, we will be checking up on your comments.
engine?
So make sure to drop all your thoughts or your impressions in the chat. My teammates, MJ and Mati, are already there with you, and we'll respond whenever we can. And this is it for now.
Yes, that's it for now.
Let's get into the mood with some music, and let's hear from our game director, Konrad Tomaszkiewicz, and our narrative director, Jakub Szamałek, who will tell you about how
Yeah, I'll
it
remember
all
that name.
began.
That's right, friends. The time has finally come. Sit back, relax, and get ready to experience the world created by Rebel Wolves.
I think this is just the music. It has that sort of Witcher sort of music to it. Gothic, very gothic. Beautiful woman. What kind of instrument is that? Ballad of Night and Day. So this is the tone that they'll have for Dawnwalker. Definitely setting the mood. Music is very important in video games. I wish more people would understand that. Leaning towards the violin. And the lute. Is that a lute? I'm gonna pretend I know what I'm talking about. The castle from Nosfara 2? Wait, are we in Transylvania? Very nice. Hey, Venom. Guy's pretty good. Came in at the right time. That's what he said. The bit rate's a little bit wonky.
I decided to open the Rebels company because I felt that there is a huge space for innovation and for evolution in the open world RPGs.
Yep.
And to achieve that, you need to have independence and artistic freedom. And sometimes you need to make and hard and
couldn't get that from CD Projekt Red.
The best way to do that is to open your own company and to make your own choices. Do you remember the second Fallout from '98?
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite games ever, and I was so excited when you used that as a point of reference because for some time now I've been aching to return to the promise and the value of old school computer RPGs. And to combine it with modern graphics, with bleeding edge tech, with a dynamic, fast-paced combat, merge these two together and see what comes out.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, we will not do the post-apocalyptic game. But what was really interesting in the second Fallout is the freedom.
Yeah.
You could do there whatever you want. You exit the vault.
You hear his words.
You don't have main quest which telling you, okay, right now do that. Next do that. You just
artistic freedom.
You know, shape your own
They
story.
came from CD Projekt Red. They left.
You build your own experience, and this is like the total freedom in the games.
Yeah, and as a writer, this is something that excites me about the games
the
most. The choices, the freedom, non-linearities, and I think this is something that's truly unique to video games. Like you can't emulate that in any other medium. So I'm so glad that we are making a game that sets out to explore that space and see what else, what new is to be done there. So that's great.
Also, if you will add to that the sense of urgency, the time, which actually is not really explored in the video games, and day and night loop, it would be really interesting because it will make the game different.
Yeah, no, I get that because the sense of urgency is so important in the context of open world RPGs where players can
Urgency
become
with day and
distracted
night.
kind of get away from the main
Interesting.
story. So finding a way to make sure that they remain invested, that they remain at the edge of their seats is so important, and I think it's something that's lacking from the games in that niche.
So it's gonna be dangerous
if you will
during the
add to
night,
that
maybe.
the hero who have the different loop at the day and different loop at the night, it makes the game really unique.
Yes. Interesting. Day and night loop is a key pillar to their Dawnwalker game. I like that. Also notice that Redfall and what's the other game? Masquerade couldn't make a good vampire game. From the director of Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. AD 1347 somewhere. Oh, hold up.
Must be here somewhere.
This is burning.
It's all right. Lunka! Don't hurt her!
You gave us quite the chase, young.
Please, sir. She's just a child!
Roderick, remind me, did I make an exception for children?
No, sire.
No. That would have been foolish, would it not? They spread the plague just as well as adults. And there's only one way to stamp out this sickness.
No!
Is
Not just a runner, but a fighter, too. Had we met under a different moon, things might have ended differently.
oh! Chinese, like Chinese vampire. Different types of vampires. Yo, exploding blood corpse, but he wasn't a corpse?
Lunka!
Why did they protect him? If they even did.
My sister. She needs help. Fast. Please, let us pass through. I beg of you. Please. Please.
The child had the plague. Gave her blood. She doesn't have the plague anymore.
I don't know. How?
I am life. I am death. I am everything in between. I have been watching your little valley. Pestilence, famine, killing, blood spilled carelessly like water. Things will be different now.
Oh!
For all of you.
Yo! 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 Yo, I am ready! I noticed that that's a stake right there in the middle.
So the game takes place 2 years after the events shown in the intro, and this is just the beginning of a greater saga we were planning. So we get to meet the character at the beginning of his adventure, which I think is really cool. And Cohen in general is so much fun to write and flesh out because he's not your typical game protagonist. He's not a grizzled veteran who's seen it all, who is cynical about the world, who comments the world with like one-liners. He's a young guy who, at heart, is emotional, he can get vulnerable, he's honest about how he feels.
What I love in Cohen is that he'll be never a superhero. He'll be never overpowered. At the day, as a human, he can fight with a sword, he can use and discover dark magic, but he can be killed by anyone. At the night, he encountered a lot more difficult enemies. He can use some vampiric abilities, not only in combat, but also he can use it to explore the world and to see the world in a totally different way.
Yeah, and he'll need all these cool superpowers because he's facing formidable enemies. This clique of vampires who decided to take over the world, turn it upside down, and set the rules. And they are led by this super old and immensely powerful vampire called Brensis.
Brensis. So that's who that was,
Our game is set in
the
14th
bald one.
century Europe, and it's a world in deep crisis. First, the continent has been ravaged by the plague, then wars, and now famine. And all the while, vampires have been watching from the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And finally, when humanity is at its lowest, they come out of the shadows, they overthrow
They came
feudal
during
lords,
the plague.
and they move into their castles.
So during the famine, that's when they came, when they're at their lowest. That makes sense. Hey, how's everybody doing?
Vampires ruling the world is not necessarily the bad thing. Feudal lords in that time killed the whole
Absolutely,
villages
Radzik.
to prevent, the plague. And the vampires, they defend Cohen and his sister. They even healed Lunka. And, I know that people need to pay taxes in blood, but it's not a huge
Taxes
cost
in blood?
of safe and good life.
Well, to that I'd say that vampires' favors are uncertain. And sure, they protect the people of the valley where the game takes place, but they see them as cattle, so they protect them to then lead them.
This is what they were
going to
do in Castlevania.
And the blood tax you mentioned, it's taken from everyone, the frail, the weak, the old. Each week they have to convene at the church for a blood mass. So for some people, that's deeply traumatizing or might even end up in them dying. So in the end, I'd say the balance is more or less equal. And that's something that I actually really like about our setting, this world, that nothing is simple. Nothing is just black or just white.
Yeah.
And you have to decide for yourself, like, what do I think is the right choice? What is the path I want to take? And what is the path I want to avoid? And ultimately, Cohen's family ends up in the dungeons of the Vampire Lord. And even as Cohen is trying to free them, he will meet people who still support the regime.
It's even more challenging for players because Cohen has only 30 days and 30 nights to save his family.
30 days and 30 nights?
In most games, sandbox means gameplay freedom. In our, it means narrative freedom. We don't think about the quest like the main quest or the side quest. We just have quests. Players will craft their experience through the game by themselves, and nobody will have the same. And we call it native sandbox.
Yeah, that's something that really excites me because that means that no true playthroughs will be identical. That each player will have a unique experience. And that's the true magic of video games, and that's why I love making them.
I like that, but also at the same time, I do like combat.
Welcome back, everybody, and I hope you agree that that was worth the wait.
Gameplay?
Now,
Not
the best
yet.
news is that we
I'm waiting for
are
that.
just getting
Gameplay
started
matters.
tonight. And first things first, Dominika, that trailer.
I know, right? And for our Polish
I need
community
gameplay.
out there, good news, we will be dropping the Polish version of the trailer with Polish dubbing on our social media channels right after the stream, so keep an eye on them.
I think a lot of people are going to want to rewatch that trailer, so I bet that they're really, really happy. But we've got a lot to unpack here, right? So you mentioned before that the trailer actually serves as the intro to the game.
Yeah.
So everything that we all just saw,
It's
that
not
happens
vampire games
before
that
the game
flop.
starts,
Yeah, so the cinematic that takes place 2 years before the events from the game.
They're not saying much right
so
now.
2 years
It's not
before
vampire
Cohen,
games that
our main
flop. It's
protagonist,
bad vampire
is a
games that
Dawnwalker.
flop.
So you
It's
can
not
see that
Marvel
he's
games
super
and movies that
young,
flop.
he's
It's bad
super,
Marvel
you
video
know,
games and movies that flop.
experienced,
That's
you
it.
see that innocence in
That's
him,
it.
right? But that will need to change. The world is going to change drastically for him. He will need to grow up. He'll need to mature a bit. So you will see that in the other game assets, he looks a bit differently.
I did wonder why he looked so much younger. Clearly, Cohen has had a rough couple of years. I can't wait to work out what happened in between. I think it's going to be pretty exciting. Now, but we didn't just
Bloodlines,
meet
yeah.
Cohen, right? We met his younger sister, Lunka, as well. But in the video we just saw, Conrad mentioned that she was healed. So does that mean she wasn't turned into a vampire then?
No, Lunka was indeed healed from the plague, the Black Death, by Brancis, this old vampire, leader of the vampire
Their
clique.
blood is
And turning humans into vampires works a bit differently in our game. But we actually have another duo of devs who are going to talk about it in a moment.
Okay.
That's cool.
Well, then I won't steal their thunder. I'll let them explain it. But I guess what I should ask is, who or what is a Dawnwalker then?
That is such a loaded question. So many layers to it, honestly. Okay, but so the basic premise is like this. Dawnwalkers look like humans during the day, but they turn into vampires after dusk. But they're not actually humans, and they're not actually vampires. They are something in between.
Okay,
A
very
Nephilim?
mysterious. I love it.
Kind of like a
Now,
Nephilim?
Dawnwalker itself,
Half demon,
it's
half
a brand
human?
new IP, right?
Yeah, it is completely original, and I think this is what actually makes this project really special for us, because it's a handcrafted universe, of course, rooted in real history, inspired by some myths and legends, but essentially built by our team from the ground up.
From a gamer perspective, again, knowing that you guys have full control, that you've got a vision for how this is going to be, and that you can actually implement that, it's just so exciting. Like,
It's so exciting for us as well.
yeah,
you know?
I can imagine.
Notice how they
Now,
actually feel
I
like they
talk
can
about
make
this
whatever
all
they
day,
want.
but
They
we
weren't able
should
to
move
do
on
that
and talk about the art
when they
of
were in CD
Dawnwalker,
Projekt Red.
the world and its inhabitants, which includes vampires.
Yes, and we will meet with our art director, Bartłomiej Gaweł, and our environment artist, Adam Payet.
We're also going to hear more about the characters and narrative design as well, right?
Yes, and for that we will meet with our writer, Ariana Sierkiewicz, and our creative director, Mateusz Tomaszkiewicz. Take it away, guys.
But I really need gameplay. I really need gameplay.
Man, look at this place. That would be perfect for the writing team.
Not just for them. I love storytelling myself. Since I can remember, telling stories through images is what I love to do.
Yeah.
So when I received the first script for the Dawnwalker, I fell in love with it right away.
I think for me, what got me was the concept art when I first saw those Carpathian villages hugging the mountain slopes, the valleys, forests, and then also the muddy streets of Svartrau and the long shadow of the cathedral.
Nice.
It all felt very authentic, muddy, and also very familiar, homely, and, well, Eastern European.
Not just Eastern Europe.
No, yeah.
It's a mix of predominantly Romanian motifs with broader influences of Balkan cultures. It gave us a freedom of creation. It's a vast range of inspiration from Polish log houses to Ukrainian or Balkan clothing to Romanian defensive churches.
That variety in that broad spectrum was also interesting to get because I never thought as an environment artist I would have to learn in Romanian how to Google specific museums just to get the references.
On the other hand, we also set a boundary for ourselves, and that boundary is a time period of inspiration ranging from the 13th to 15th century. And this is meant to ensure the visual consistency of the world.
Yeah, and that is also quite a challenge to make sure that what you create is authentic, grounded, and has a real sense of place. But at the same time, isn't just a picture and invites exploration and promotes that gameplay.
I wanted to see how far we could push realism so that players truly feel part of the narrative. But this is not a simulation of medieval life.
Not at all.
No. There better be some combat in this game.
Realism can be boring, and we wanted to create something exciting. And that's where the magic comes in.
Yes, the magic.
Our magic isn't filled with fireballs or flashy lights.
Yeah, it's probably even more interesting to get right than the realism part of it, because when a quest brief comes through and the magic is manifest by, I don't know, birds flying in the sky in a strange formation, or
yeah,
the
it's
northern
early
lights
in development.
not being in the north, it really makes you rethink the whole location and how it should come together to marry those two aspects.
Our magic is also serious, and it's closer to paranormal phenomena than to traditional spellcasting. It's like the X-Files set in the Middle Ages, all deeply rooted in the history of the Dawnwalker world.
Yeah, and I think it's the weather and the lighting system that do majority of the heavy lifting to take a location and really push it one notch above realism to give it a slightly off feeling. I think my favorite location for that is the cathedral. During the daytime, it's that monument to Gothic architecture with people bustling around. And then as soon as the sun starts setting in and the streets clear, the fog starts setting in, and it becomes a completely transformed, different area, very spooky, almost liminal, cemetery-like space.
And that was also a very early and conscious choice on our part. We wanted the world to be a different place after the sunsets.
They really are leaning towards the dark and the day and night.
Right, so hold on. Environment art is something I understand, right? I do it every day, I understand the creative process behind it, but I've never touched anything to do with character art, which is your speciality. So would you mind walking me through what was your creative process in
I would like to hear
coming
this.
up with that whole thing?
Sure. So we approached the work on vampires very seriously. It's a whole new universe. What's even better is that it's a mix of familiar elements with a fresh twist. We all know that vampires are well-defined in pop culture and have been around for a long time. So we wanted to create something fresh.
Really good movie.
So what primarily sets them apart is their teeth. Our vampire teeth keep growing throughout their lives. The older the vampire, the more teeth they have. So instead of two sharp teeth, they have a series of needle-like fangs.
That's what he had.
Densely growing from their jaws, often.
So the older you are, the more
parts of
teeth
their
you have.
Skull as they age. The teeth keep growing because the vampire can use them to create another vampire. And the mechanism is very simple. The vampire pulls out his fang and drives it into the heart of its victim.
Lovely.
So what's interesting is that our vampire's teeth aren't visible at first. They can extend as the mouth opens, and it looks really creepy.
Yeah, I still remember the first time that the animations came through from the character art team, showing the mouth opening and the teeth growing, and it was absolutely disgusting.
More teeth you have, the older you are.
Every bit of it.
More powerful you are. The Chinese vampire had less teeth.
So Cohen's Argyria, the silver poisoning he got when he was working in the mines, is both a blessing and a curse. Because on one hand, it weakens him. On the other hand, it protects him from becoming a vampire fully. So, you know, he gets to traverse both worlds, both the world of humanity and the world of the creatures of the night.
Yeah, well, he was kind of used to dealing with the vampires since it's been like a couple years since Francis took over. Now he has to find a way to deal with things like undead lurking in ancient tombs that should have remained closed. Kobolds that used to only prey on miners going way too deep into the mines.
There's kobolds in this game, so there's combat.
Who used to live high up in the mountains, secluded, and now they are in Francis's troops.
Yeah, and they are vastly different.
Oh yeah, they all have their own separate cultures, and well, if you want to deal with them, I would kind of like to you should get to know them a bit, or else you might get tricked, because they all have their own goals, aspirations now that they came out of the shadows in Francis's wake.
It's a source of a lot of tension, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of tension. Some of them can cooperate with humans, but mostly it's just new issues, new problems nobody had to deal with before.
But I think this is great because all of that tension, all of these problems are great storytelling material for us, for building all of that content.
True.
For example, Francis, he had to normalize this thing for the humanity, convince everyone this is the new normal.
Yeah.
And the way he did this was, first of all, you know, there was a lot of social turmoil. And on the other hand, a lot of deeply held religious beliefs. And he twisted them. He turned himself into this messianic figure. So, for example, he introduced these blood masses where he feeds a human vampire blood, right? And at the same time, they have these other things like punishing criminals with, like, draining them dry.
Yeah, but well, you know, some people actually liked it because once Francis came in, he set up a new order of things. He finally got down to business, and then he locked the valley off so that nobody can touch it. No outside outside influence can touch it. And well, some others did not like it so much, and they began to reach into the depths of forgotten magic, occult, stuff like that.
Yeah, so
that's
either
interesting.
Way you look at it, the Veil Sangora will never
Francis
be the
is the
same again.
Antagonist, you could say. The guy that was the bald vampire.
Isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. There are so many things we need to remember to make this into a cohesive whole. And at the same time, you have the challenges posed by the open world itself. Because, you know, there's a risk of the content being formulaic or repetitive. We handcraft all of it, and we focus on telling these unique themes we really care about.
Oh yeah, we want to talk about loss, about the meaning of family, about opposing tyranny, about trying to coexist with creatures you've never had to coexist with before.
Well, but that would be difficult to do with just Cohen and Francis, right?
Impossible, actually. We had to create a whole host of characters, and we really wanted to avoid having cardboard cutouts, like...
Yeah, but what if I don't want to coexist with any of them? What if I want to kill anything that's not a
human? When you meet those characters, your goals and ambitions may overlap, and you befriend them, or it might be the opposite, and you go on a warpath with them. But,
Good,
you know,
warpath.
Given the goal that you have ahead of you, it might be good to have some friends to go along with.
Well, but you could go on your own, right? If you wanted.
Well, yeah, you could just grab a sword and go storm the castle.
Nice.
But, you know, it might be wise to, for instance, find the rebel cell and try to dismantle Francis's rule with them. Or, I don't know, listen to what an agent from outside of Veil Sangora has to say.
Which is exactly why I love how we structured the game, because
there's a lot of choices
a lot
in
of
this.
choice in which characters do you want to interact with, which you might want to skip altogether. And also on top of that, you have this layer of non-linearities where you can decide their fates, but also the fate of Cohen and his family.
Yeah, and I really like that because it gives us so much replayability. You can always choose a different path. There's something else waiting there for you.
Yeah, exactly. And also, on top of that, you know, get to find all these secrets of Veil Sangora and fill all the blanks and, you know, explore the world.
And yet another path might be lurking within that.
Interesting.
Handcrafted content is all good and well, but on top of that, we also have a number of really cool gameplay systems that further feed into the narrative.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
And speaking of feeding, my favorite one is the blood hunger. It lets me play a real vampire. I don't just have to drink blood to use my cool abilities in combat, but if I talk to someone without feeding first, I might just lose control and I might eat them. And it could be just any random peasant that I won't care about. I can eat my best friend, and I will break my heart, and I will break my quests.
Yeah, so you better keep him well fed.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
Do you have a fave?
Yeah, I really enjoy the ones that are revolving around Francis, because, like, it makes him this active antagonist. You know, this means that he will basically react to what Cohen is doing. He will pass these edicts that will hinder your path. So, for example, he might set up military checkpoints that will be on your way.
That changes the world, right?
Yeah, exactly. And also, you know, it's not just him running the show. It's also his 3 powerful vampire allies.
Yeah,
he's got other
CGI,
lieutenants.
that was such a hype
Yeah,
moment.
the CGI.
Finally animated, voiced, and just loved it.
Yeah, and on top of being cool characters, they also have their own, like, spheres of influence, and you get to dismantle their organization step by step, making it simpler for you to confront Francis and free your family.
Well, when it comes to freeing your family, there is one more antagonist, that is time itself, because every time you do something important in the game, when you complete an objective or you complete a quest, time moves forward.
You said 30 days,
what I
right?
really like about this also is it's not like real time. You actually get to control how much of this resource you want to spend, right?
Yeah, you have to manage it wisely, but if you just want to enjoy the view or just take a stroll, you can without stress. But once you get down to business, you have to do it smart.
Yeah, so I think all of these things combined.
That's really
handmade quests
innovative and kind of
gameplay
risky.
Systems create for this really fun, unique experience.
Yeah, and you know what? I cannot wait to see what shenanigans players will get up to playing with those systems. I will be there watching it.
Same.
The 30 days thing. I wonder if that's long enough.
As you can imagine, last 2 years were really intense for us. I want to thank the whole Rebels pack. You are the best, and it's a privilege to work with you. The Blood of Dawnwalker is a very special game for us because it's first truly ours. What you have seen so far is only the beginning. In upcoming months, we will share more with you. But for now, I have one more surprise for you.
More music. Vampire Jesus? Basically. So it's like a time limit when you progress quests, but its time doesn't move while you do random stuff. I need to know more about that, and I need to see gameplay. They said 30 days. Didn't they say 30 days? Yeah, they did say 30 days. 30 days is very short. Also, you don't have a character you create. You play as Cohen. A man with a family he's trying to take care of, who is trapped within the main antagonist's household or mansion or whatever. She hot. I'm gonna say it. Yeah, she hot. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna just tell the truth. CD Projekt Red better watch out. Depending on the gameplay, they might be having another contender. At least in the music compartment. Yeah, I already did. It's already too late, Vine. It's alright. Less than 2 weeks anyway. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Yo, whoa! Ho! Whoa! Yo, bro! God damn it! God damn it! You bitches! You little shit! You piece of you gave me a little piece of gameplay. It's on the summer of 2025 for the gameplay.
And
You gave me a
back. And wow, do we have a lot to talk about.
It was
But
like a little bit of
some
soda.
them,
Just
concept arts. I need them as wallpapers like yesterday if you can.
That's okay, I got you covered, no worries.
Well, one of the big things that really matters in this game is that time matters. You're only gonna have 30 days to make all of your decisions.
Well, it is actually 30 days and 30
That
nights.
was their
so, as Cohen,
their
your
fire
objective
alarm.
is to save your family.
It's good to know that the rebel wolves are black.
When you do it, and if you actually do it at all, it all depends on you and your decisions.
Wow. Now, the astute amongst you watching at home will probably just have clicked that that is why there was a 30-day and 30-night countdown prior to the stream going live today. Just those little bits of detail, all of the tie-ins, the full wolf moon. I love it. It makes me so excited to see what's coming.
Okay, that's great and all, but the gameplay
are gonna
is
matter in the game. Like,
the biggest thing.
I can't do everything, right? It's
That's
just
true.
not going to be possible. And not just that. It's the start of a whole saga. It's not just this game.
It is an adventure
Saga.
through the ages where you walk the line between our world and its secret dark underbelly. And of course, while you'll get a complete satisfying story in this first installment, there will be so much more to unfold in the future titles.
It just sounds incredible. Honestly, it's a game I can't wait to play myself, and having got to see that sneak peek, even now, it looks so beautiful. It's in Unreal Engine 5, right?
Yes, it is in the Unreal Engine 5 technology.
You want to use the 50 series?
With a cinematic
I know you want to use that 50
cutscenes.
series.
And since we are talking about the tech stuff, I do want to mention one more thing, which is the third-person perspective. You could already see.
Yes.
And yes, the game
cool with
will
that.
be in the third-person perspective.
Good.
To give you that classic action RPG feel, where you are really dropped into the middle of action.
That's exactly how an RPG should be. And one of the things that I learned here about the game, speaking of classic RPGs, the Blood of Dawnwalker will have no microtransactions. It will have no live service elements. There are going to be no NFTs or any of that stuff.
Yep.
It's just going to be a pure single-player experience.
Good.
The kind of game.
It's amazing that we have to have this conversation.
That's right.
Wow. Now, we did promise earlier that we'd keep our eyes on the questions coming in, so I will ask the big one. Dominika, do we have a release date?
Oh, I knew that would happen at some point.
It's not coming this year.
Well,
Not
about
this
the
year.
release date. We are not quite ready to announce it just yet, but don't worry. Once we are confident about this, we will let you know. And we will definitely let all of you guys know as well.
It's not this year.
In the meantime, join our official social media channels. We will be posting a lot in the upcoming months and giving you even more insight into
Really
the
nice art
universe
piece.
of Dawnwalker.
Yes, and if you just can't wait for more Dawnwalker content, check out the upcoming issue of PC Gamer as well. It's just a few weeks away, and you're going to hear more
I'm good.
about the world.
I don't
and
need
more
to
of
talk to
Dawnwalker
PC
in
Gamer.
there, so make
Nah.
sure that you don't miss it.
Nah, I'm good.
But with that, we have reached the end of everything we are here to share with you tonight. It has been an absolute privilege to be a part of this.
Oh, thank you so much, Lionheart. Thank you so much to all of you watching us today. We're so happy that we could finally share all these
UA5
cool
won't
things
work
we have been
or
working
run well
on,
ever.
with you.
Incorrect.
And we will meet again this summer.
UE5
to talk
won't
more
run
about
well
Blood of
if your
Dawnwalker,
team
this
can't do
time
their
focusing
job.
on the gameplay features and unveiling
That's
how
it.
it actually plays. Until then,
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, everyone. Stay safe, and we will see you soon.
bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. That was so good. We need to watch and analyze that CGI and that little bit that they had right there. I didn't like their frameage there because it was horrible. We need to go find something with the best quality. A lot of people are excited about it. That's cool. That's 15,000 people right there. That was really cool. The Rebel Wolves, I missed all the action. It's okay, AJ. I'm going to post this up, and I'm also going to analyze that little trailer right now. Let me go pull it up. Hold on. Hold up. Hey, oh, rocket till the wheels fall off. Hold up. See, rocket till the wheels fall off. Hey. Yeah, that was fucking amazing. That was really amazing. There it is, right there. It came out in 3 minutes. Okay, we're gonna put you away. And then we're gonna bring you out. Fingers crossed we shall see. Very true. Very true. All right, here's the CGI. 1347. Let me up the... Can I go any higher than this? Oh, we're in 1440. Can we go any higher? Chat can handle some 4K. Okay. We're analyzing right now, so... As you can see, they are running away from the castle, and it seems like that castle is doing just fine, but the village is burning. So I'm going to take it that the castle and the king over here is in charge of that village, but since the plague is running rampant, they are just outright killing and burning anybody that has the plague. That's your main character right there. You're going to play as Cohen. As you can tell, his hands are pretty dirty. He looks like just a regular peasant. He's just starting off. I think he's already a vampire, or maybe like a crossbreed of a half human, half vampire. So he can be out during the day and out during the night, but I don't think he has chosen so much of an allegiance this is the very beginning. And this right here is a family member of your character. And as you can see, the burning village.
Must be here somewhere.
These are the knights. There's going to be a lot of political or religious talking points in this game. I can tell straight off. That's going to be pretty interesting. I like when they talk about certain themes. I like that.
It's all right.
All right, so she is calling for Mama, and I'm going to assume that this character was married, but she might have gotten killed. She must have already had the plague. I'm just guessing, but Mama's not around anymore, which is kind of sad. That's my guess, but we'll see. We'll see. Usually when you run away from certain things, you would have your whole family. It looks like the only family member he's got left is her, so we'll see.
Don't hurt her.
All right, that is Yanka. She's obviously got the plague. Yeah, they're just peasants, judging by the clothing.
Quite the chase, young
Please, sir.
Their emblem looks like sort of two crescent moons and a tree right in the middle, or is that a dagger? Maybe I can get a better view of it, but that's the king, apparently. I think that's the king.
Ah, Roderick, remind me, did I make an exception for children?
No, sire.
Yeah, it's a cross with two moons. So, yeah, it's a cross with two moons. That's their insignia. And yeah, that's the king, though. That is the king. You see the crown.
No.
Isn't that his sister? Holy shit. No, you're right. I was assuming that this was his, that little girl was his, no, you're right. No, you're right. My apologies. Yeah, you're right. It's his sister.
Would it not? They spread the plague just as well as adults.
So this is him covering his mouth because obviously he is around his own sister, and he would assume that this guy also has the plague as well, since he's been, holding on to his sister who is plagued.
And there's only one way to stamp out this sick.
I don't think he has any powers, your main character, because he would have at least killed a couple of men. I don't think he has anything just yet. Yeah, I assume that he has no powers yet.
No!
Yeah, he could barely even hit.
Not just a runner, but a fighter too. Had we met under a different...
The moth that you just saw was an insignia for somebody, but it was a red moth. And I wonder who that is an insignia for. What is that a sign for? If it was like a red bat, that would be interesting, but why is it a red moth? That's my thing. Because I saw it and I was like, a red moth? I would assume like a red bat would come, but no, it's a red moth. We'll figure that out later. I just noticed the paintings. Do you see those paintings up on the architecture right there? Is that like some sort of demon? We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. This Chinese, like, this Chinese, like, vampire out of nowhere beating the shit out of him, I was just like, okay. Okay, that was kind of interesting. I think he's Mongolian, judging from his clothing. But, yeah. This guy is more of a young fellow. He doesn't see... They said before that judging on how many fangs you have is how old and how powerful you are. The Chinese one had a few sharp teeth. This one has only a few sharp teeth as well. So they must be the younger of the vampires. The insignia on his cloak I don't know of. And you can tell that they have dark magic because this lady, this old lady that also has many, many fangs because she must have a long lineage of vampires under her belt. She has probably been a vampire for a very, very long time, and she's literally using blood magic. She literally used a lasso of blood on that gentleman and smush his face. And this time, this guy that ran away, well, let's just say there was a lot of strawberry jam, okay? He spilled his strawberry jam everywhere, and he just couldn't leave. So there is magic in this game.
Lunka.
Here's one more thing that I forgot to mention. There was a strong emphasis on making sure that none of those knights left. So that is interesting. I find it very interesting that they didn't want any of them to leave. They didn't want them to spread any sort of message. They didn't want to have any army to come over and retaliate. They wanted to make sure that what they were about to do was quick, easy, and out of the way. Because there's a good chance that even though these vampires are very strong, a full-on army against these guys would still prove a threat. So the vampires aren't all, you know, the vampires can still be taken care of. You know, it's all about the numbers if you're a human against vampires. He has the most fangs. There it is, right there. That was a perfect envision. Yeah. At the beginning, you saw only the cross, and you could barely check out the architecture of the whole church. But as soon as this guy rises, and I know they did this on purpose, as soon as he rises and it shows the character, they stop blurring the image right behind him. And you can actually see the devil, the horns, and, you know, all over. You see? They do that shit on purpose. Okay? They blur things until a certain character comes out. And then they're just like, okay, now you can see those blurry images. and you could see the main antagonist. Look, the character is literally the one picture on the right literally has a picture of a guy of a horned dude eating a man and burning him and using his own dick to kill humans. So this church right here is probably burned because this church was probably used as a blood mass, like the developers were talking about. This church was probably burned because it was considered, sacrilegious, and burn anybody who believes in this sort of thing, which makes sense because this is literally it's literally evil. I mean, come on now, listen. As much as I would love to side with the vampires are evil, okay? You would only side with the vampires only to get what you want. The vampires are not good, okay? Let's stop doing this whole, we're going to stop doing this whole, vampires, there might be some good ones out there. Nah, nigga. It's right there, right in front of you. They are fucking evil. If you want to side with them for a minute just to lie and, just to side with them, just to get what you want, fine. But don't come to me and say, like, yeah, the vampires, they're just a little shiny during the day. Fuck that shit. I like the fact they did this image. Oh, that was a better vision of all the characters, too. The Chinese, like, not Tibetan, but Mongolian one, the older lady in the back, and the younger fella. I would say the one in the middle is the oldest. The old lady in the back is probably the second oldest, and the one to the far right is probably the third oldest, and the one on the left is probably the youngest. You could tell with their emblems that they come from different backgrounds. And I find all this pretty interesting. The emblem that I'm really looking at are the ones, well, all of them have the same emblem. What am I talking about? It's the emblem of, like, what is that? It's like a rib cage, but it's two dragon heads or wolf heads at the top. And the hilt on his sword looks like it's made out of bone. Hell, his shoulder pads, his shoulders, his pauldrons are fucking like bone as well. Yeah, this is a person you can trust. Yeah. Like a double-headed dragon, but it's a rib cage, and it looks like 3 mountains in the insignia. Interesting.
My sister, she needs help fast. Please, let us pass through. I beg of you.
It's sister. My bad.
Please.
Now that ability that he just did right there, everybody knows about that ability where vampires are able to control weak-minded humans. I know they probably have a different way of doing vampires, especially with the whole Fang thing that they got, and I like that sort of creative freedom, but everybody knows that vampires are able to persuade certain individuals. And that heals her.
I don't know. How?
I am life. I am death. I am everything in between. I have been watching your little valley. Pestilence, famine, killing, blood spilt carelessly like water. Things will be different now.
I like how they give this vision of this man being not only interesting, but some people would actually side with this person because if he protects the humans, maybe he's not such a bad guy. So some people would side with these certain individuals that stand with him because he's powerful and they protect them. But at the same time, those churches, like the church that's right here right now, is for blood masses. Like they said, the blood mass, they literally bring out certain individuals, and what they say is they drink blood from, you know, individuals. You know, everybody has to do a blood tax is what they're saying. So they have to do a blood mass every week. They take a certain amount of blood from each individual. If you have killed anybody or if you have stolen anything, well, they just drink you dry. I find that sort of political intrigue very interesting because certain individuals would actually side with people that are stronger than them, and that's just how it is. The weak always, the strong will always, you know, have power over the weak, and so some people would side with them as long as they're protected. So it's going to be a weird imbalance to where it's just like, let's be honest, this character that you're seeing right before you, he's fucking evil, okay? He's fucking evil. The only difference is that he's just like, listen, I need you all to live, okay? I need you to eat whatever you got to eat. I need you all to get fat. I need you guys to be able to reach blood mass every Sunday, okay? And then I'm going to drink some of your blood. Not all of it, but some of it. And then some people are going to be like, but you can't drink my grandma's blood. She'll die. And he's just like, it is what it is, bruh. It is what it is. Maybe it's grandma's time. Maybe it's grandma's time. Just got to let you know.
For all of you.
Yeah. The world needs what it fears. Okay, here is the end game. Look how dark and mysterious and sort of the blood moon happening. This is where it looks like there's some verticality with the game, which I really, really enjoy. We only get a little bit of gameplay, but we'll check it out. The sword's in the back like that. Interesting choice to put the sword. The sword looks like it's Romanian. Maybe? I don't know. It's an interesting sort of sword that he has. The pommel's fucking huge. The armor that he chooses is definitely from some sort of... probably from the vampires themselves. I have a bad feeling if you go inside that fucking building, you might have some problems. But yeah, let's keep looking. The bats everywhere. Beautiful ambience. That's your character right there, Cohen. Clearly he has been diving into, you know, he's been looking like, I take it the Fang. That's what they said. The Fang is what you need in order for you to change. So I take it the Fang was inserted into this gentleman's heart to turn him. So, yeah, I guess I take it the main antagonist did that. This is too cool. If this isn't the game, this is too cool. I'm sorry. Every anime person enjoys a really good wall run, okay? Or sliding down. Nobody's out here saying that's stupid. Everybody likes this. Everybody likes this. Nobody goes around saying like, "Oh, that's just cringe." No, it's not, sir. Okay, seems like you can use your claws. That makes sense. Is there executions? It looks like. Okay, so there's probably going to be speed attacks from back and forth. Okay, cool. Vampiric speed, and also this is played during the night. It looks like some sort of village. Yeah. And also, I'm looking at the insignia on these two guys, and it looks like they're also donning like a yellow gambazon. And I don't know. It looks like it's related to the same gentleman that the same antagonist. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Okay, during the day. What the fuck is that? I mean, it's clearly a boss fight, but what the fuck is that? What the fuck? Somebody said, you know what? Let's teach a human how to fly. Oh, cool. We can learn how to make, you know, multiple people fly from one area to the next. That's a brilliant idea. And somebody said, I said one person how to fly. And they chose to stick this vampiric whatever monstrosity on this thing and give it some wings and 2 knives. And I'm just like, nigga, what the fuck did you make? It looks cool though. Wait. For a split second, we saw a health bar. Hold on. For a split. No, we didn't see a health bar. Fuck. I thought I saw a health bar. And this is the world. And look right there. At the bottom right, that is the very building that we saw. That is the very city that we saw. Right over there. Over there to the bottom in the middle, there seems to be some sort of bridge. There's some ruins over there at the bottom. And clearly this gentleman that is able to look human during the day, and during at night he looks completely different. I wonder how the combat system is going to affect you going from day to night. I wonder what happens when you dive too much into your vampiric abilities or dive too much into being a human. I wonder. Definitely some replayability. Well, yeah, that looks good. That's good. That's cool. Sort of like Underworld type, but set in the 1400s or the 1200s. Your time period's really on point. It's actually placed in the 1300s. 1349, actually. 1349. You're really close. How did you understand 30 days and 30 nights until the end? How did timer like in old Fallout? How did yeah, they literally just said, like, you have 30 days to do what you gotta do, otherwise your family is killed. That's pretty much the main story of it all. But that's pretty innovative, but also at the same time kind of dicey, because it's like the game will always keep moving forward. So it's like some people might not like that. But I think some people will actually kind of find that kind of interesting, because you literally have 30 days in order to save your family. So I'm interested in seeing how they would pull that off, because I don't know. So no 100% runs, maybe. But anyway, that's Dawnwalker. How to play? Yeah, I have to play a couple times. Yeah. There's gonna be a lot. That's cool. That is cool. That is Dawnwalker. Yeah, we had a good analysis on that. That was pretty good. I'm interested in the game. I'm fully committed. I can't wait. But yeah, that was dope. That was real dope. Really cool. Anyway, that was my hard rap for Dawnwalker. We got more for you coming up later. All right, cool.